Hello, Untitled new phone in, and it's Pixel 6a. So we're going to have our unboxing and all the kind of stuff together all in one video. Our video samples the whole lot, so we're going to unbox it first here on the channel. So typical box, that's it there. On the back, 128 gigs and charcoal and whatever that is, Grego anthracite or whatever it is what it is. That's it. Also, we've got the 6A case as well, so that'll be in a separate video. Watch that. Let's have a look, see what it's all about. So this is the next big thing from Google this year. Pretty much everyone has been waiting for this phone, as they do every year with their A series lineup, and great value for money they are indeed. And looking at it there, pretty much it looks like our 6, but it's a toned down version, and you can see the camera band up on top. So let's just pop that to one side for a moment. So you got your Google Tensor as well, your USB cables here, and your adapter to transfer data. All pretty standard stuff. Okay, you got your power button, volume up and down, fingerprint sensor, USB-C, and your SIM card, of course, and that's pretty much it there. And you can see what they've given us here, and that is it there. Now it does feel premium, believe it or not, and looks quite similar to its predecessor, with the camera bar up on top. Now there is less, and with the 6A you get less, but you're not getting that much less overall when it comes to the features. So the camera on this would be probably more closer to the Pixel 5 and not the 6, because you're missing one of the sensors, and that's pretty much what you've got. So you've got a 12.2 wide and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. So you got the wide and the ultra wide, which is good with PDAF sensor. You've got an 8 megapixel front camera, and that's pretty good. So that's nice to see. And of course, we're going to have a look and see some more when we're talking about it as we go along, when we're doing a review and our video stuff. So you've got 4K recording on the back at 30 frames per second and a 60, which is important for a lot of people, and people do like to have the best cameras at the moment for taking videos and all that kind of stuff. And of course you got your front facing camera as well, which records at 30 frames per second. So that's not brilliant, but again, if you're into selfies, that might be something for you to think about, but come on, it's not much of a difference. So that's pretty much what it looks like there. So you're going to get all your features there, your magic eraser, your face unblur, panorama, manual white balancing, and real tone as well. You're not missing out on a whole lot overall when you think about it, when it comes down to the specs. As I said, it's a cheaper device, but you're going to have their sensor and, you know, all the best of their gear in there as well, just toned down cameras, really, and it looks really well. Now the bump on the back isn't as noticeable as it is on the 6. As you can see, it's a lot smaller, which is fine. The other bump didn't bother me at all. The size is nice, it's something different, and it's not a big square stuck on, which you find on a lot of phones today, which I think is going to be overboard now, to be honest, and that's pretty much it. So you've an 8 megapixel front camera, and you've got two 12 megapixels on the back, and that's pretty much it. You have 120 gigabytes of storage, and your refresh rate on the screen is 60 Hz this time around, and not 120. And being honest, from using all these phones with 120 Hz display, I've actually other phones here I'm testing, can't talk about at the minute, you don't really notice the difference. You know, not, to be honest, not much really. Come on, from 60, even you go up to 120, you don't really notice unless you're really into that kind of stuff. For the average person, I'd show phones to and say, can you spot the difference? They go, no, they don't really notice the difference. So that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do is power it on and have a look at what's on it, see if there's anything different. and check out what the screen looks like as well. But this is a nice compact device as well. It's a lot smaller, it's not as heavy, it's not as chunky. You have a smaller band going across here, and it's, I found with the Pixel 5 for example as well, it was a lovely device, and the 4A, those kind of size devices are kind of perfect. I'm currently using a Galaxy S22 or an iPhone 13, and they're just too big, you know, so this is really kind of that optimal size, and it's enough for everybody, I think. And rather than having these big massive screens, you don't really need them unless you want your media consumption to be a lot better on, if you're using them on a lot more regular basis than most people would. But for everyday use, I think this is kind of the right size for everybody really. So even for people with small hands, it's just a nice phone. Even for me, someone with big hands, I was able to use my Pixel 5 for example very, very easily, no problem at all. It took a couple of days to get used to it, using a smaller phone. And Bob's your uncle, you know, so I'm holding this, and the other phones I have here, it's just that right size. So let's get it turned on and have a look and see what's on it. Okay, so we're back. We've turned on the device there. You can see kind of what the screen is like there. You can see a small bezel top and bottom around the sides there, which is fine. And we're setting up the device, so we have a lot of apps to install, so we're just going to go ahead anyway. So we have 138 apps to do, and it's a lot, so they're all going to be coming in here anyway. So let's go and have a look at the settings straight away. Though when you swipe left, you will get your news, Google News, which we're on, as you can see, which is pretty much a standard affair. And if we go into the settings, then we have got, where's our settings page gone? It's up on top. So you go in here, get to know your Pixel, and you have your Pixel tips in here, the essentials, navigation, smart features, tools, all that kind of stuff in there for you ready to check out, which is cool. So in here you've got your apps section, you've got your Pixel tips, Google Play, all kind of stuff in there, your assistant, screen time, all that kind of stuff is in there. Next up is your notifications, which will pop up here, your app settings, notification history, conversations, bubbles, device and app notification lock screen, sensitive notifications, do not disturb, and of course you've got that swipe across gesture there, which is cool, so you've got that there still. So if you go back, we go to the battery, it'll give you your battery usage in there. You can put your battery percentage, which I always have on my phones, so we pop that on there, and you can have a look in there as well and see what else you might want to do. Storage 126 on board, so we've 25 gigs used, and a lot of that is probably stuff I just put in, plus the system storage itself, sound and vibration. So you got your usual media toggles here, the same applies on the side. You tap there, and these three dots here will bring them up, so you've got that there, and that's fine. So you've got all that there. You do not disturb, your phone ringtone, live caption, so that will automatically bring up text for speech, which is cool. Your media player, vibration, haptics, default notification sound. Of course you can customise these to your own needs. Touch sounds, charging sounds, vibration, screen locking sound, dial pad tones, all that's in there. So let's have a look at the tones. So my tones should be popping in there soon enough. There's my own setup, but as mentioned, I've transferred everything across my own onto this, so it should pop up all as set up as before. So in here you've got your stock tones, so let's have a listen to them for a minute. And it's nice and loud. So there's a little bit of sound coming from the top on here. This is just a dud. So that'll just give you an idea of what speakers are like anyway, and there's, as you can hear, it's pretty clear, and it's nice, a stereo effect as well. You've got retro riffs in there, you've got seasonal celebrations in here, and all that kind of stuff in there, so you can decide what you want for yourself. So as I mentioned, the live caption there, text will pop up, which is really cool on videos and all that kind of stuff there, so you can turn that on or off up to yourself. Okay, so back into settings, display. So you got your brightness level here. So this is another thing we want to check out. I'm going to put it up to max. Adaptive brightness, lock screen, screen timeout, dark theme, font size, display size, night light, and you've got colours. Auto rotate, screen off, touch sensitivity, and screen saver. You have all them in there. Wallpaper. You have all this in here with the themes, which are really nice. You've got your app grid layout as well, so you can pick from what's in there, wherever suits yourself. Accessibility. You've got link to Windows, talkback, text display, extra dim, dark theme, magnification, select to speak, accessibility menu, time controls, system controls, voice access, and all that kind of stuff in there. So that's what you have inside there. Your security. You've got find your device, you've got your updates, which one needs updates, fingerprint unlock, smart unlock, device admins, all that kind of stuff in there. And your password and accounts, digital well-being, which is on every phone now more or less today. You know what that's all about, which is fine. Your Google services, your system, about the phone, and tips. So that's all that kind of stuff in there. If you drag it down, you've got your notifications there. You can see your Bluetooth. You can also change them. You can swipe across. You have mic access and camera access, edit, power, and settings in here. So that's pretty much it in there, and you can swipe up like that to change around. Okay, so into the camera, just leave that off for the moment. So the camera is another important feature on these phones. They've always been very, very good. So down on the bottom, you'll see you've got video, you've got modes. In here you've got your lens, photosphere, and panorama, video, slow motion, and time lapse, and of course you've got your settings here to zoom in and zoom out like so. And because we haven't got the auto rotate on, you've got your camera, time 6, 1 and 2, portrait mode. So if you tap the focus, you're obviously going to have to come back here. You can see these will pop up here, and of course your night sight as well, which is excellent. So in here you've got other settings here. You've got your timer, your autofocus, and your full image. So if you go in here, you have more settings. So you save your location, camera sounds, Google Lens, social share, gestures, device storage, all that kind of stuff in there. Framing hints, grid type, white balance, exposure, camera, photo, resolution. So you've got full resolution and medium, and you've got video stabilization as well. So pretty nice. So if we go into the camera itself, you can see here the other options there, and you've got 16.9 wide crop and 4.3 video. Into the settings, you've got 4.3 and 16.9 there as well. So you've all them pieces inside, which is pretty cool. And more settings. We'll again just bring up the same menu there for the camera and video. And of course you see this little guy come up here, which means let you know that the camera is on. So let's have a look at portraits for a moment. Just move that out of the way. So you can go up and down here like so, and that will get you to zoom in. In your typical camera, you go wider here, you have 2 and 1. Of course you can use your finger here or the slider, like so. And for video, same idea. Zoom like so. So you've got all that in the camera settings, which is pretty nice. So that's pretty good to see. And you've also got your front facing camera as well. And you've got camera shortcuts there. And all that kind of stuff. So you have a lot in the camera going on. And as you know, with the Google Pixel cameras, they're very good. You can't really complain. You've got Google Lens, which I love. So you can see it's bringing up a tree, and that's exactly what that is there. So you can translate text, homework, all that kind of stuff in there. Google Lens is brilliant. We use it every day. It's very, very handy for a lot of stuff. So also in the camera you will have your flash and all that kind of stuff in there, and you really need to be playing around with yourself to see what you want from the camera. It's not going to be as good as the Pixel 6, but it's still going to be a good camera with the AI, all that kind of stuff. And you've got all the modes, which is important. You've got your focus, and panorama as well, and again all these down here. So you got your slow motion, which is 1.8, 1.4, and you've got your time lapse there as well. So you've enough to play around with there and get whatever settings you want, and that's really all there is to it. So that's it just for now on the inside of the phone. What's there, pretty much a standard affair, and that's really about it there at the moment. So we have a ton of apps to go in there, so we're just going to go and get through it too, as we said, and all these apps are going to populate up here as before. So we're going to take it off next of all and take some videos and picture samples and show you what we get from it, and then we'll tell you what we think about it when we have all our apps installed, how it works with so many apps we have because of all the stuff we do and the stuff we use here in the house, and how all that works, and of course our Google Home system here, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. So hang on after the break for some more.